Breaking right now, a heavy police presence outside the waterfront mansion that neighbors say is owned by rapper Lil Wayne in Miami. This after a caller reported a shooting at that home. These are live pictures from that scene. Hello everyone, I'm Ty Hernandez in New York. Police just telling us that the caller said up to 4 people may have been shot and that they are taking this incident very seriously. Here's what Officer Ernesto Rodriguez said at the scene just a few moments ago.
Can you tell us?
All I can give you is a preliminary information at this point. At 12:40 in the afternoon today, we received one phone call via our non-emergency line. The individual who called advised that he had shot 4 people and he requested police assistance at 94th and Lagore Circle. At this point, we have our SWAT officers maintaining a perimeter. They've cleared the exterior perimeter. At this point, we have not located any victims.
Have you been inside the house yet?
No, we have not, and we're not able to provide any additional information to not compromise this investigation.
Thank you guys.
On the scene for us in Miami right now, ABC's Seni Tianabeso. Seni, what can you tell us about the police response from your vantage point?
Well, right now, I'm still seeing a heavy police activity outside of the home. As you just heard, police said that they had cleared the outside of the perimeter that they had set up on this posh island, Lagore Island here in Miami Beach. And we're waiting for more information about what they find when they go inside the home. We expect that they will be going inside shortly. Now, as that officer said, this all unfolded around 12:40 when a call was placed to the non-emergency line saying that 4 shots were fired. Since then, the police and media have descended on the scene. The home said to be tied to Lil Wayne. We found an address tied to a Florida corporation owned by the home, and in fact, his label tweeting a few moments ago, "Wayne is okay, wasn't home during alleged events." But still a fluid situation out here at the moment, and we're still waiting any word on what, if anything, they find out inside the home once they go in.
Okay, have you talked to any neighbors? I'm assuming this has attracted some attention, maybe some people pulling over to see what's going on, maybe to give some information?
Well, just to give you a scene setter, as I said, this is a very posh, exclusive, gated community. It's a private island. The homes are very spaced apart. But we have spoken with a few neighbors, one of which did confirm that the rapper lived inside the home. But it seems at this moment to be business as usual, people going about the day, most people not wanting to go on camera or speak. A lot of the people who live on this island are very private individuals. But again, this is a very unusual scene for this neighborhood in Miami Beach.
You know, it's a very large mansion. We're hearing up to 15,000 square feet. It's going to take police some time to go through this entire residence.
I would imagine so. It's certainly not a small home, but I'm told by one source in Miami Beach PD that they are speaking with someone from the musician's camp. So presumably they have a sense of where to go.
Okay. Now, there, of course, is the concern, although much less of a concern, that this is in fact a prank. The so-called swatting incidents that have taken place recently where people call in and say that a celebrity's home has been the scene of a crime has been pretty prevalent.
Yeah, I mean, that's more of a situation that you hear more out in the West Coast in Los Angeles than here. And in fact, that suggestion or those questions have been asked to Miami Beach PD. Is this, in fact, a swatting incident or not? Police have yet to respond either way. At this moment, they say that they're still yet to clear the inside of the home, so they're not giving any further information until they say they have more to give.
How many, you know, if you can do a quick count, how much personnel, police personnel, have you seen at this scene? How big is this response?
Well, it's hard for me to tell because, like I said, this is the private island, so we are literally, the police are staging media at the front of the island where the gate up to enter the island is. And we know from aerials provided that police are surrounding, you know, the front of the home, but it's really hard to get a sense. In front of me here, I count at least half a dozen cop cars, but I don't see many cops. About 30 minutes ago, I saw a bunch of officers walk towards the home, but it's still a ways off from where police are staging media at this moment.
Oh. Okay, private island. You're not kidding when you said this was an exclusive area. Do we know any other celebrity homes in the nearby in the vicinity?
Not that in terms of celebrities that I know offhand, but you know, there are dozens of celebrities said to live on this island and nearby islands around. I mean, we're talking about multi-million-dollar homes along the bay.
Tell us a little bit more about that tweet from Lil Wayne. Did you say his record label?
Yeah, his record label, Young Money, just released a tweet. It was short. Said Wayne is okay. Wasn't home during alleged events, which is the first credence that was given from anyone on his camp that actually, tied the rapper to the home. As I said earlier, police haven't confirmed that it is in fact his home. So that was just the first sense that it is in fact Lil Wayne's home.
Okay. Do we know if has there been any word on Twitter or elsewhere from members of his entourage who may have been in that home?
Not yet. Besides, like I said, the Young Money tweet was the first confirmation of any sort that I've seen as of thus far.
All right, Sunny, I want to thank you so much for joining us and giving us that on-the-ground report from the scene. Okay, let's go to ABC's Brad Garrett to talk a little bit more about this alleged incident. Brad, this is a classic type of swatting phone call. However, we don't know yet if this is legitimate or not.
No, but one thing, Ty, that sort of gives it away is if you watch the police demeanor at a scene, it gives you some sense as to what's going on. If this were true, it was reported 4 people were shot, you would see multiple ambulances, you would see the police moving around in a much more exigent way. I don't see that based on the video I've been watching for the last 10 minutes. So I'm just going to assume that this is probably a false call. In particular, it looks like it's probably somebody conducting what they call swatting.
Yeah, something that really underscores the danger of swatting. This is a team that has to go in. Some reports saying this is a 15,000 square foot mansion. They have to check every room. There could be potential danger, but because it could also be a prank, perhaps they're not completely on their guard as they search that home.
Well, that's true, and it's such a big house. You're going to have to, even though you believe it's a prank, you still have to address it like it's real. You're going to have to go through all the property, both internal and external. There's probably some acreage, outbuildings, pool, whatever it might be, and you're going to have to literally search all of it before you leave. One of the big problems with swatting, obviously, is some innocent person getting hurt. I mean, the police basically set up their expectations based on the information they have. 4 people shot. Sounds like a very volatile, violent, perhaps lethal situation. They show up. They could encounter somebody that sort of acts in a way that they might be involved, so they could potentially get hurt if they didn't obey the police. It's those type of things that are very concerning. The other is it's a huge waste of manpower, and it will cost the Miami Beach jurisdiction literally thousands of dollars between SWAT teams, uniformed officers, detectives, emergency services personnel, probably fire personnel. And that's the big troubling aspect of this.
Yeah. We've seen this before in terms of celebrity swatting. But once police are in your home, if they see anything remiss, I mean, is that something that they can take into evidence? When this happens and police penetrate your home because of a potential threat, are all your belongings and possessions subject to, their search?
No. I mean, they can search, they can do a reasonable search. In other words, opening the drawers in your bedroom or opening the cabinets in your kitchen are not reasonable. This is about somebody potentially shot, people down, bad guys at the location. So you're looking for human beings. Where can they logically hide? Closets, basement, behind shrubs, in the garage, etc. Those are logical searches the police could articulate. Now, to go with your theory, let's say that as they are doing that, they walk into the garage and they see a large quantity of marijuana. The more prudent thing to do would be to note it and then get a search warrant and come back at some point. So there is that aspect to it, obviously, but clearly the only expectation here is that this is a violent situation, life-threatening, and they are there to make it safe, period.
I would imagine it's difficult for police to sort of stop this trend of swatting, because a quick telephone to the police couldn't be traced. What will it take to really put a stop to this practice, if it is indeed an incident of swatting? Of course, we don't know that for sure yet.
We don't, but to address your question about how do you stop swatting, the answer is you can't. In reality, there are a number of ways that police can preliminarily check out whether something is accurate or not. But keep in mind the clock's ticking. If this were real, you can only go through so many checks before you send emergency response teams to a location. So, some of these guys that are involved in swatting are very sophisticated, using devices that are very difficult to trace. I don't know if that's the case. This sounds like it was a phone call. So it may be possible. So does it come back to a payphone someplace else? Possibly. The problem with swatting is you could be any place in the world and set up a swatting incident in this case, Miami Beach. So impossible to stop, but the police are going to try to attempt to figure out possibly if it's real or not before they send everyone to the location. But easier said than done many times.
All right, ABC's Brad Garrett, crime and terror analyst, thank you so much for joining us. And as we could see in some of those pictures, police investigating a potential shooting at the home of Lil Wayne in Miami Beach, but they certainly don't look tense as the search continues inside the mansion. You can keep up with this story in real time by downloading the ABC News app and starring this story for exclusive updates on the go. I'm Ty Hernandez in New York.